Hi everybody, it's Sam here, and today kickstarts my Halloween series 2022. This is the 5th year that I've been doing Halloween projects. So if you're new to my channel and you like making Halloween paper crafts, then head over to the playlists and you'll see them all there. I've got one big playlist with everything, but I have also playlists for each year as well. And there's some really lovely little projects there that you might want to look at. Today I'm going to start with this Perfume bottle stroke poison bottle. I wanted it to be something that you don't have to just use for Halloween. So if you can imagine this as maybe a masculine cologne bottle, a lady's perfume bottle, change the colours and you know, your sentiment on here. You don't have to have the bat, and you've got something that I think would work well for birthdays, Father's Day, Mother's Day, things like that as well. But I've got this lovely sentiment in my Halloween sentiment set, What's Your Poison? And I just thought I have to make a potion bottle. And the inspiration for this come from the Victor Rolf Flower Bomb perfume bottle. When I was at the airport, I've recently been on holiday and I just love the shape of it. It's all faceted, and I thought I would try and use that and make this into a little gift box. You just take the lid off, and inside there you've got your space to be able to fill with treats. I need to find some that are going to match this. I did think the black and white striped humbugs, they could work quite well in here because they've got that colour. But yeah, I'm going to have a little look. Let me know if you can think of anything good that would go inside here. They may be my table favours this year for my Halloween table. I'm not sure. I've got some other wonderful projects to share yet as well. So, but today I'm going to show you how to make this. You don't need any specialty dies. I've just used a die to die cut the aperture there, but you don't have to do that. You can keep it as a solid piece if you wish. So let's get started. So all of the product that I've used, if you did want to use the dies, then I've taken the nested new, this is the Filagree border ones by Creative Craft Products that have given me that really pretty design there. And then to cut the middle section, I've just used the inverted scallops, and I'll go through those in more detail in a moment. I've used the top here is foam, and I've just used the black foam sheets by Creative Craft Products. And then for my sentiment, I've taken the What's Your Poison from the Halloween sentiments, but I also have a really nice idea for It's Spooky Season and Delivering Bugs and Kisses. I think you'll enjoy the project that I've got for that one. And then I've just cut the little bat, and that's from my Haunting Time stamp and die set. It's just the one there. And you got the dies to cut it as well. So that's all of the product. We'll go through all of the decoration, mats and layers and stuff later on. This here is just a little wooden half circle, and I just coloured it in black marker, which I'll do shortly, and that just sticks on the top there. But if you've got maybe like some old doorknobs, like the cut glass doorknobs, like the small ones you can get, they'd look really good as well. You'll then want two pieces, I've already cut this one, but you want two pieces of 2.5 by 8.5, and this is for each side of the bottle. So along the 8.5 side, you're going to score it 2, 3, 6 and 7. And then along the short side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 2. Okay, so do that twice. And then you just want two pieces of 3 by 6.5. And these are for the front and the back. And one of these is where you're going to cut the aperture. You might want to cut a square. You just use your cutting knife, or a rectangle kind of shape, but it's entirely up to you. So first of all, we'll start with the sides. So you want to fold and burnish. In fact, you can do this on all the pieces. Fold and burnish all the score lines. And then we just want to do a little bit of cutting. So across each of the score lines, you just want to cut a little triangle. You want to turn each of these pieces into little tabs. If you've made my letters, the 3D letter boxes, is very similar to that, the kind of construction. So I'm just going to go around all of those ones, and then on the ends just snip off. I'll just pop that one there so you can see it whilst I'm cutting this one. Okay, so you should have two pieces that look like this, and then you've got your two pieces of 6.5 by 3. So what I'm going to do is cut my aperture first of all. So I popped the inverted scallop and the frame there from the Filagree set together, and I ran that through with white cardstock, and that's given me this decorative border. But to cut the aperture, I just need this one here, and I'll give you the measurements, so for anybody that's got these die sets, you can get the same one. So it is, so I haven't got them on my magnetic sheets, usually I just count up like the size, but it's the 3.25 by 2. Okay, and I'm going to bring this one down, so it's about 1/2 inch from the bottom where it will cut there. So about there, as long as the frame's going to fit, and make sure it's equally spaced from the sides there. Like I said, this bit is completely optional. You might want to just add some pattern paper on here. So I'm just going to run that through. And then I've got some acetate here, which I've cut with the next size up of that size scallop. And I've just ran some of my thin tape all around the edge there. So I'm just going to peel that off. You could leave this open as well. You don't have to add the acetate. So maybe if you've got some fudge or something that's already in a bag, or any kind of sweets, or even just small present, if it's already wrapped in something, then you don't have to have this over the top. So that's just going to seal that now. I'm just going to go over. Make sure you always add some pressure to your tape. Can you see the difference in colour? It's gone very dark, whereas it's still quite white here. When it's dark, that means it's stuck to the cardstock. You can really notice it with the red tape as well. Just give it a good burnish. There we go. Now flip that back over, and then I'm going to stick my frame on as well, because it's going to be easy to do it all while it's flat. So just line up the scallop detail there. Okay, so that's all ready. Now I'm going to take this one. This is going to be the back, and just so it helps you line everything up, just mark along the bottom. I'll just bring that up. Okay, you can then line that up so it sits perfectly in the middle of this piece. It's going to then help everything else line up. Also, on one of these, you want to take off, so where you've got your 1.5 score line, this is your 2-inch score line here, so you want the smaller end. On one of them, just take off this piece, or the little side pieces. Okay, because what we're going to do now is stick them together and then line it up. So I'm going to use my construction glue on the base just to start adding a little bit of strength, and just sit that one over the top. So now we've got this one long piece, and that's going to, you see it's going to start to wrap up to form the bottle shape. And once you kind of get used to this kind of style, and if you're confident with working out your measurements and stuff, you can, you know, make different size bottles. And I think they would be lovely little favours, maybe for like a little girl's birthday or something, or boy. It could be like wizard's potion and fairy potion or dust and things like that. I think there's loads of really fun ways that you could, you know, change these. So, but now we've got that. So that's your middle. So if you're worried you might, you know, stick the wrong bit in, just put a little cross right in that middle section. Then you should have your small 1 inch, then your larger 2 inch, 2.5, and then 1 again, and then 2. Okay, so now with one side of this, we're just going to be focusing on sticking all of these ones down for now. I'm going to use my liquid glue. If you want to use red tape, you can. Double-sided tape's entirely up to you. And now this is crucial, getting this lined up, because if this is slightly off, then the whole shape of the bottle will be off. So I'm just making sure those pencil marks line up with the score lines, and then just fold that one down. So I've just butted it up to the bottom of this piece. It's not stuck over the top of it or anything like that. It's right along the bottom, and just give that a minute to dry. Okay, now it's up to you which side you want to start on first. I'm going to take this one here. Now with this one here, all you've got to do is line up. If you fold it back that way, bring it up, and you want this line here to join with the edge of this piece here. So just bring it down until it touches the edge, and you should have this little triangle. In fact, if I show you from this side, because what's going to happen is this piece is going to then run flush with the side of the 3-inch piece. Okay, so all you got to do is focus on that score line there, or the kind of fold just sitting right along this piece, and then just bring this out and then add your glue all along here. And now this one, you just got to line up with the side here. But this is why it's important to get this right in the middle, because if you're slightly over to the side here, then this piece would end up sticking slightly higher. So it means it would be then, and then this one would sit lower, and you just have a bit of a wonky bottle. But I think for Halloween, and having all different kind of slightly shaped ones would actually look quite good. So I don't think it's going to matter too much. Plus you can, you know, decorate it, stick the tag. Maybe if that one's a bit wrong, that tag would cover it. So don't worry too much. Also the card weight here, this is a 220 Craft UK. It's the 12 by 12 black cardstock. It's a really nice weight around the 220 mark. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do the top two on this side again. I just wanted to check I got the measurements correct on this one. You basically want to mark 3/4 of an inch in with a pencil and then line up that piece with it. You'll end up cutting a little bit off, but it's easier to have it slightly bigger. Okay, but you can see there, but I'm going to show you that again on this side. I just wanted to check that it was correct. But then you can just snip off the excess there, and then again, just work your way around and take away all of that overhang. Okay, so we've got one side of the bottle there. So I'm just going to do all the way up to here again on this side. Okay, so they're all stuck down, and then again, just bring that one out. And I'm just marking there at 3/4 in. And then you want to add your glue to both pieces. Okay, and then you don't need to worry about, don't, you know, focus on this little one here. Just now focus on the top here, lining it up with that 3/4 inch. And that's then going to give you this 1.5 piece here. So it'll now be 1.5 by 1.5 square for the neck part there. And that means our lid will fit. And then you can just trim off like so. Okay, and then that top piece should be nice and straight. If I get my longer scissors there, I can just sit it against the two and just cut that straight off. Then you just want to do the same with this piece, and what you want to do first of all is focus on lining that up with the bottom and the sides. That's where you want to focus. You're going to add your glue to everything, but you want to focus on the bottom, middle and the sides. Everything else then will fall into place. Once they're like kind of tacked in place, just make sure that, because you could still pull these out a little bit, but make sure it's 1.5, which that is, and then just stick that down. And you can get your ruler, you've got a long ruler there, and you can get that right down inside. Do check, 'cause it's quite easy to pull that. Yeah, I've just pulled that one right open. Let's just bring that back in. And then again, you can just snip away all of those pieces. Okay, and there's the bottle shape. Now I've probably gone a little bit off somewhere. Can you see this one's slightly more steeper than this one? But as long as it stands, it's not going to matter. And like I said, you've got all that decoration to add yet. You're then going to need this piece for the lid. So you want a piece of 2.5 by just do like 7.5. You're going to trim it off. I think it's going to be easier to have it like this and you wrap it around yourself, because I'm just conscious that everybody may stick this top bit slightly different. You might pull it in a little bit more, it might not. You might make it slightly larger. So I think this way of making the lid is going to be a bit easier for everybody to follow and ensure it fits everybody's bottle. So this is a piece of 2.5, like I said, by 7.5 ish. You are going to trim that bit, and you want to score at 1 inch. Keep the scoreboard out. What you then want to do is start on the side here and just sit it, you know, along the side there. Its placement doesn't really matter as long as you've got the edge lined up here, and then just fold it around and just pinch it with your finger, and then just find a track and add the score line. Okay, so now already we've got a nice fit there. Then I'm going to come along to the next side. So now I know I want my join to be this back left. Again, just pinch the bottom there and just line that up. So those two now sit nicely, and then again there. And then I've just got to do the last one there. Okay, and I'm just going to give myself a 1/2 inch tab, so I'm just going to score 1/2 inch next to it and just cut that away. Okay, and then we need to do some cutting. So you want just burnish actually that score line as well. And then you want to just cut up all of the 1.5-ish kind of square side, the 1 inch piece, keep at the top. So I'm just going to cut down all of these. And then this end section you're going to remove completely. Just cut that one away. This is now our tab, so you just want to cut that off there and just burnish that one as well. So for me, my join is going to be the back left. So now that will all wrap around. The tab will neatly go under there, and then we can fold all these down. So what I'm going to do first of all is stick it whilst it's on here. So just wrap it around. Again, placement doesn't really matter at this point. You just want to get it on, get that stuck down, and that way you know you can take that off easily. Okay, now bring it up to where these can now fold over. The back one I'm going to fold down first. And I'm going to use the construction glue here. Then I'm going to fold in a side. If you want to cut a little bit off the edges, you know, the sides of these pieces, you can. So it won't be an exact square because of the way that you've wrapped it rather than just scoring it. And then that one can go over. But don't worry about the finish on the top, but you can push that down now and you've got the pressure to stick them all down. Take it off. Make sure they're all secure. Anything overhanging, just trim away. But that now fits on there perfectly. And then I've got this one here. So I've cut a 2 by 2 inch piece in that foam. And then in purple and in black. And I've sandwiched it between it. I'm going to stick that now right over the top. Whilst that's all drying, I'm going to colour this one in and stick that in the middle. I just used the construction glue. Okay, so whilst that's drying, I've got my tag here. This is just from my own stash. I've had it for a long time. And the Watch Your Poison fits perfectly. If you want to do something of a similar size, then this piece was 1.5 by 2.5. And then just make a framed piece, and you can, you know, punch a little hole on the top. So I'm just going to pop that in there. And then I've just got some black and white ribbon. Again, I've had this in my stash a long time. I always pick up little bags of ribbons from charity shops, things like that. You always get some, you know, cool kind of designs. I think this one though was from the range. And then I'm going to pop that around here. You could attach it permanently if you would prefer. So lots of ways to change this. You might want to add a little kind of wax seal with maybe an initial on it and have it dangling on a bit of ribbon. You could add a real chain. You know, if you look at some of your perfume bottles and stuff, the kind of hardware that they have on them is really nice. There's, you know, many ways to decorate. And then I've got 4 pieces here, and these are 3/4 inch by 1 1/4. Yeah, and they're going to go on each side of the bottle top there. And I've just got the little bat there, and I've just popped a bit of shape on his wings, and I'm just going to stick him just on the bottom of the lid there. So that's all one piece. There you have it. So there's my finished poison bottles, and what I also did was just use some of the sparkle pen. Can you see the bat on that one? It's got all that sparkle. I'll do that on this one as well, and that's just using the Crystal Clear Spectrum Noir sparkle pen. There you go. So yeah, I'm not sure if these are going to be my table favours yet, so I may well be making more if they are, because they just would look, they probably will be, to be honest. They do look really good. And once I get the treats inside, I will share photos of what I decided to pop in these as well. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you can see past the Halloween if that's not something you do. And you could see, you know, some nice little Christmas themed ones. You could see them as, like I said, a cologne bottle, perfume bottles, little fairy, like magic potions, wizardry things. You know, there's so much you can do with these. So yeah, I appreciate not everybody is into making Halloween projects. So, you know, try to think outside the box and other ways that you can use these. As always, I will link the product that I've used in the description box below. It's just those dies and the stamp sets. Like I said, the cardstock was Craft UK, 220 GSM. So if I can find that, I'll link it as well. If you've enjoyed today and you're not subscribed to the channel, just hit the subscribe button. You can click on my face there. And if you hit the notification bell, then you won't miss any future tutorials. And head over to the playlists, because that's where you'll see all of the Halloween ones if you want to go and see what I've made in previous years. See you all again soon. Take care. Bye.